experience a few weeks ago where my 7-month-old Leo and I were escorted off the Senate floor. And thanks to these amazing moms who are behind me, we worked to change the rules, which we passed today to make sure that's not going to happen to any other mom, any other parent on the Senate floor. Again, I think this was historic, and it was long overdue to make sure that this is a more family-friendly institution, that we can be parents and we can be senators. We can do this job really well when we have those accommodations in place, and I'm so proud of us for passing that rule change today.
Questions? Yeah. Very long debate, as to be expected, but pretty broad bipartisan support and a lot of young parents for the ones who voted yes. What does that mean to, and this can be for any of you, to see that support and to know that there's kind of this uniting push among people who are in your similar positions as you right now in terms of having young children and being in this body?
Well, I could say that women and moms are counting on us to lead in making sure that spaces are open, especially to new mothers. I remember just 3 years ago, for the first time, we were allowed to bring water to the floor. I was breastfeeding during that time, and I couldn't produce enough milk because I wasn't getting enough water in me. That was really hard. But for women to feel like they can't be in leadership because the rules and the system prevents us from being both, it's just not right. And today we made a change.
Hi, Amanda Hemmingson-Yeager, Woodbury in South Maplewood. I think with the bipartisan aspect of it, I think it shows that parents are in our communities. Parents want to elect other parents, and they want to be able to see those parents in action at work, and that's what we're here to do, is to represent our communities.
Several of you have talked about challenges with breastfeeding as a result of not being able to have your kids on the floor. I wonder if you can speak a little bit more to that, very significant parenting decision having to be made because of the rules of the Senate.
I think that impacted you.
Yeah. So when this little one was less than a year old is when I came into the Senate, and because we couldn't have water on the floor, because I couldn't have her with me, we were in the majority, we had some of the longest hours, I just stopped producing breast milk, and she ended up in the pediatric ICU when we were in session in March of 23, and the doctor told me you can't give her formula, but you can give her breast milk, and I just started crying because I couldn't give her breast milk because I didn't produce anymore. And when I came back from that experience, Senator Coleman talked to me about how I was doing, and I told her about that, and then she shared her story with me. And so it was just like, we're two women sitting back there saying we lost the ability to feed our kids, both of whom were sick, right? Or all three, I should say. Her two were preemies, and mine was sick, because we weren't allowed to have water, because this place was just like, no, you can't bring your baby. I mean, she was young enough to just be in a sling, at 10 p.m. at night for an hour, just to make sure that I could smell her and be near her and produce milk. And until today, that wasn't possible. So I'm just so glad that we're being able to do this for the next generation of parents, for this generation of parents, because I missed out on that, and I'm so glad no other mom will have to.
Is there any fear that this is going to be challenged at all in the future? I mean, we saw people try to add essentially an expiration date to this. Are you guys fearful of that, or just going with the victory for now?
I can speak to that. Our majority leader talked about how these are temporary rules. We can always change our rules. I think it really will be up to us as this first group to implement this, to show that it works. I have every confidence that we'll be able to do that. We've seen the other body be able to do so. And I think when people realize the benefits of this change, we'll be able to have that moving forward. And, we've talked about some of the other historic changes that happened, being able to have water on the House floor, women being able to wear pants was something that needed to change, and we didn't see a rollback after those changes. So I think this is what we need to do moving forward. We're not looking back.
I will also just say to that point, almost every bill that we have passed that focuses on women over the last 4 years has been challenged in some way or another. There have been attempts to roll back paid family leave. There have been attempts to continue to go after women's reproductive health care. So while I hope it won't be another fight that we'll have to do, we're always ready for it because we've always had to be.
Does anyone know how long the House has had the rule in place?
I think I saw 2013.
Okay.
I was there 10 years ago, and the Heinzmans had all their children.
Do you think people, I hate to say people watching at home because we all know how many people watch at home. Do you anticipate like a really big change, people seeing a lot of kids, or to some of the points on the floor debate, it's kind of for when you really need it? Like, I guess is it going to be really noticeable for the rest of the session, do you think? Like the presence of more kids on the floor, or more of a rare occasion when parents have a snafu with childcare, like some of you reference? Or it's hard to say.
I can jump in on that too. I think that the experiences we've all had have been kind of interruptions in childcare, those last minute changes where life happens. You know, in a lot of ways we feel like we're able to do this job really well when we have our kids in childcare, being taken care of elsewhere. But we need that flexibility because life happens. So I trust that we'll see some kids around and they will be welcomed and we'll show that this works. I don't know that I'm expecting like a huge influx tomorrow.
And concerns that some senators might order their staffers to bring all their kids and try to make this so unwieldy that they can make a point next January or whenever.
I just, you know, on the piece on staff, I want to say, I think we have so much respect for our staff and we don't want to put them in positions to take care of our kids. That's exactly what was happening until this rule was changed. Can't take our kids with us on the floor. Who's going to take care of them, right? We have amazing staff here who are, I think, excited to see our kids and I can hold the baby for you, but they shouldn't be put in that position. We actually changed this rule to make sure we can be parents, we can take care of our kids. We shouldn't have to put staff in that position. This rule was important for that reason.
And I just want to say that, you know, originally when the amendment came on for allowing staff to also bring their children on the Senate floor, I voted no for that. And I voted not because I don't believe that we shouldn't allow them. I absolutely think that they should. But the point was that elected officials, we can't miss a vote. No one else can stand in our place, period. Our staff doesn't have that same restriction. We can give them time off. They can be off the Senate floor. And we're talking about just the Senate floor. We're not talking about anywhere else in the Capitol or in our Senate buildings or in our offices. We're talking about specifically the Senate floor. And so I just want to say I'm so happy at the end that that amendment included, our final vote included the amendment to allow our staff. And I hope that when they do feel that they need to bring their child, that they are. And I will smile. I'll be happy that they did. Because I know what it felt like to be a mom who couldn't bring their child to work when she needed to.
Does anyone know how many senators at this point have young children? Like, is there a tally?
Yeah, what's young?
Yeah, well, like I'd say grade school or under.
You say some quick math.
Right.
House child, or you. Heisman. How old is I don't know, bunch.
A bunch. Yeah.
There was mention of the 10-year water rule, and I think it was Senator Mann who said, like, just because it can take an inch for her, years for it to move an inch. I'm wondering if someone can speak to the speed with which you could coalesce support to make this happen, and what that was like to see that, knowing the precedent of this chamber when it tries to change things.
Yeah, I mean, I am a bit surprised at how fast this got done, considering how long it's taken to have some changes take place here. Like I said on the floor, I think if you want to see people get together, get between a mom and her baby, which is exactly what I saw happening to Senator Umu Verbatim. I went to introduce myself to her son, and as she's getting walked off the floor, and
years of watching that happen, experiencing similar situations, and then I think I didn't have your phone number. I sent you an Instagram message saying, we're done, we're getting this done. And so I'm surprised at how speedy it happened, but Senator Umu Verbatim made a great point. She said, you know, when you were speaking up again about challenges, you were the only one. Now there are so many other young parents and so many more mothers that are of childbearing years. And so I think it just kind of had to be the right time, right place, right environment.
Time for one more. Yeah.
When are you going to vote on the Chavez bill?
Is that now?
Tomorrow.
Oh, you're voting. I thought you just took it up. Or were you just debating it today? Yeah.
We took it up and put it on general orders for debate tomorrow.
Leader Murphy, if you're up the mic, could you tell us what else we can expect this week before the break? Is there anything you're going to take up tomorrow? I think it was TBD on the schedule for the week. Besides Chavez, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll take up the Pappas and Mann action on Chavez and a Senator Port bill, two small bills that are moving in both bodies. And otherwise, you're going to see us working a lot in committees before the deadline.
How are you feeling about the pace of how things are moving and getting done heading into this break?
I'm proud of the work of the Senate and our caucus in moving a lot of policy through the committees before the deadline. The pace is brisk, but we understand the work that we're doing for the people of Minnesota is really important.
If you vote on the Chavez Day repeal tomorrow, do you know how quickly the revisor's office can get that to the governor's office?
I don't think it takes much time at all. We should get it to the governor's desk for his consideration well before the deadline.
Before Tuesday?
Before the 31st, before Springsteen is here again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.